So what we're doing is that little flower, trying to get that little flower to grow, like you were saying, inside of us.
Yeah, essentially, you know, there's a lot of work. You've got to go through a lot of your thinking and pull things out that no longer serve. Actually, pull them out like weeds, and that's going to be a process that's going to leave a hole and a hurt and leave you lacking. And then, but with understanding, you could say, well, you know, for instance, if it were like just straight up spiritual endeavors rather than the psychology. Because the psychology is similar, but I could show it to you better in a spiritual example, maybe. Like, let's say I'm full of hatred and I know it. First of all, I had to confess it. And that's a major step you could see in changing your culture. You have to confess that what you're doing wasn't working, wasn't right. And that's hard to do when it's the only thing that's ever fed you. So it'd be necessary to first confess it. Self-excusing drunk never gets sober, you see. So then after that, you could see that activity or that thought or that feeling or that behavior as like a weed in you, and you would want to pull it out. But then that would leave that vacancy, that hole. But with understanding, you might put love in and understanding for your hatred and your fear. And do that in that prayer and do that work deliberately. Because it's more than just words. So if you're doing that work spiritually, trying to repair your relationship with truth, you'd probably have to confess a lot of ugly things about ourselves that we've been telling ourselves lies about.
And that makes room for that flower to grow.
Yeah, that would be what makes room for that flower to grow.
And the flower is living in the beauty way.
And the flower is living in the beauty way, and the only way to do a thing is to do it. If I'm talking politically, I could talk to the indigenous, and they have all these different agendas politically. And you could go running around, and I'm sure it's probably necessary and probably good stuff. I'm not talking against it. I'm saying that in all the conversation, what I don't hear is anybody working on the thing that would answer the question of the indigenous rights to live indigenously. I can chase after better water or health care or whatever. Indigenous votes. All these things are probably necessary, but they're supplanting something that is primary. And the primary thing would be, do I have the right to live this way or not? Not whether or not I can make my captivity in your society more comfortable. Not whether I can make my approach and my climb up within a structure that supplanted my way of life easier. No, that's fine if that's what people want to do, but we have neglected the opportunity for anybody to ever walk in beauty, and now the mother needs it, and we don't have it. So, that's what's happening institutionally.
Yeah. So what does that process look like? You've been talking about all the ways that we have to weed these things out of us, but how do we actually step on that path, like you were saying when we're going to do our walk? You were saying that we have to not let, we have to like wear the flippers, you know, like we have to take
that whole
steps.
idea is to understand that you're not given the ability to come out like a Pinenut man. You're not Pinenut man who can live on the earth with just his blanket only. You don't have all that bundle. You don't have all that knowledge. You're like children that are handicapped and given things that don't serve you. And the idea is to understand that you're going to come out with a psychology that's going to be working against you, and you're going to try to work on that out here. By repairing your relationship with these living things, you're going to understand that you're going to come from a circumstance where you've only been sustained by a thing that destroys everything, and you're going to find a new mother by coming out and digging and planting these roots and living this way. So in that endeavor, what you're going to find is that you've got that to overcome in yourself. That psychology is going to be there against you. Not only in yourself, but those that are around you. I lost track of what we were...
And I'm talking about the process of taking those steps to let that flower grow.
Yeah.
You have to do it one step at a time and not be that purist, primitive skills.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have to understand what your purpose is first. And you have to fulfill that purpose and get that done. And that is to begin this thing and be successful in it and be comfortable in it. Otherwise, we would not be coming back into it. So it's not like you come out here to try to, you know, kill something and have a skin bladder to carry your water and make a little willow lodge and then practice all these kinds of primitive skills out here. That's not the intention of coming out here in the first place. The intention is to reintroduce yourself to a mother as a baby, as a child. And whatever crutch, whatever thing you needed to get it done was what you did to get it done. Because to succeed in that walk, that first walk, would to find yourself in love with a new relationship with the Mother Earth, rather than disappointed going back hatefully to a relationship with Whore Babylon that you were never satisfied in that civilization where you wouldn't have come out in the first place. You have to come out like children, teachable, and not with a bunch of our own ideas of how it should be done. Most of those ideas are set before you to keep you from doing it and help you fail.
Yeah.
Because institutionally, that's what they have given you. That's precisely what we talk about.
Yeah. So that's the first step we're going to take. Take our baby steps to reintroduce ourselves to the mother.
Yeah, and it's baby steps.
And thanks for showing us that way, Grandma.
Yeah, you succeed at that first. And then you can tighten up your game. But have a game before you tighten it up.
And have fun with it.
And have fun with it, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.